Alright guys, I don't know why, but I can't read a script today, so if I'm stumbling over my words every 3 seconds, then that's probably why. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm drawing. I've had this idea of mixing magical horse breeds in the form of a foal for a long time now, and all this time I've been praying that nobody else will come up with this idea before me. I ran into a lot of problems when I originally started this series with my artwork, so yeah, but I finally got something to share with you. Today, as you know, I'm drawing the foal of Laverna and Nemain. Now, if you're a Star Stable lore nerd, you might know that Laverna and Nemain are technically both female, so they can never actually have a foal. But I didn't realize that until I got really excited about drawing their foal. So, for the sake of my sanity, we're just going to pretend that instead of Laverna and Nemain being one-of-a-kind horses, they are actually a breed of horses, and they happen to be male and female. That said, it is time to make the sketch and then transfer it onto the computer. Okay, so here we are, erasing pencil marks in the background so that it looks like I did this on the computer. I wanted to talk a bit about the way I drew this. Now, if I wanted to be fancy, I would have drawn a horse that looks like a combination between a Shire and a Paint horse, since the Nemain is a Shire and Laverna is a Paint horse. But that would have been complicated, and I wasn't sure if I would even be able to make that happen in the end. So, I just drew the horse how I initially envisioned it in my head. I gave him sort of an antsy look with a "don't touch me" expression on his face because, I don't know, it just felt right. Being the descendant of two spooky themed horses, this look is just suitable for him. Now it's time to decorate. First, I started experimenting creating dapples with different colors and a lot of different brushes. After trying like 30 of them, I finally settled on hard pencil. And for the color, I color picked purple from Laverna, and then made it just a little bit darker to match with the Nemain's black coat. The end result that I'm going The end result that I'm going for here is inspired by the North Swedish horse reference that is on the left, since it's the perfect mix of the lighter colors of the lighter colors from the Laverna and the black and reds from Nemain. I would have used a real horse as a reference, but I legitimately couldn't find a single horse on the internet that looks like this North Swedish horse. Speaking of this North Swedish horse, why don't we have more coats like this? This kind of black horse with purple and red dapples is beautiful. And the only other horse we have in this game that looks like this is the starter horse, so both of them are pretty crusty. Anyways, since horses have a gradient in their dapples, my strategy with coloring them was to make them much more numerous and more pronounced than they needed to be. After this, I went in with a soft eraser and was able to erase all the excess dapples and get a nice gradient pretty easily. I did this with dark purple, and then a reddish purple, and then an orange to represent Nemain's fiery colors. I don't know why I kept on adding so many dapples when I knew I was going to erase 99% of them, but I feel like even though most of them got erased, there was the slightest bit of them left over that just added something, or gave them some depth. I don't know. to address two things that I've been ignoring this entire time. First, the line art. Or lack thereof, because I never did it. Because I hate doing line art, since it's pretty much impossible to do using a drawing pad like I am. So now I have to find a way to cover up all those ugly gray marks. Since the horse is black, I can't just go over them with black because it wouldn't show up. And I would lose some details if I did that. So, as you can see, I had to do some experimenting with different colors and shades. And there we go, that's done, so now I just have to work on the other problem, the mane and tail. I put in a very rough sketch of the mane and tail just to see what the horse would look like with the mane and tail. If I had left it with nothing, it would have looked weird, and I wouldn't have been able to tell if it looked weird because of the lack of the mane and tail, or because of a mistake that I made when drawing the horse's body. And once I started coloring, I just never finished it. Until now, and guess what? I also want to make the mane black, which means I'm going to, oh my gosh, what, anyways. Which means it's not going to show up unless I do even more experimenting with different shades. I wanted to make a straight black mane and then come back later to add some color, but I couldn't get it to show up and look good, so I just went crazy highlighting it with orange and pink. Orange to represent Nemain's mane, and orangey pink to represent Laverna's lighter purple mane. And once I had done that, I did the same thing for the tail, and it's done. Next, the eyes, or the one eye that is visible. I decided to use a teal color for it, since Laverna has blue eyes and Nemain has green eyes. After that, I color picked the blue from Laverna's eyes and the green from Nemain's eyes and created a gradient between them. You can't really see it when you zoom out, but it still looks good. Now I have to do the hooves super fast, and we are good. I could end this drawing here, but I feel like it still needs something more. Something that will immediately tell anyone looking at it, oh, that's a mixture between Laverna and Nemain. What I was thinking was taking a feature from Nemain and coloring it with Laverna's colors, or vice versa. Let's see. I could give it a purple and pink lava swirl, or a purple and pink scary mouth, or a purple and pink lava hooves, which I already sort of did that, except they're orange. Or I could give it orange horns and or an orange mask, or an orange symbol thingy, or orange bones. Yikes, I am not trying to draw that. I don't know if I can decide which features I want to add, so I might just end up doing all of them and then seeing which ones I like best at the end. Except for the bones. Unless. This is gonna take a while. Starting off with the pink lava swirl. I roughly copied the one on Nemain with pencil first. I didn't want to copy it exactly because that would get a little bit complicated since Nemain's lava spiral has a rocky texture that I could never replicate unless I really wanted to. And I don't want to that much. But I got to use my favorite brush again. Glow Neon. And boom, it's done. Now, what should I do next? I think the scary mouth is out of the question here because I do not want to attempt that. Plus, I don't want to mess with my horse's face. And the horns, those would be painful for sure. Fine, okay, I guess I'm doing the bones, but I feel like someone is forcing me to do them, except it's just myself forcing me to do them. Come to think of it, the horns would probably be just as difficult, if not more difficult than them anyway. And as I was doing them, I realized that they aren't actually hard at all. I actually had a lot of fun doing them. I'm not going to do the ribs because I don't want them to get in the way of the dapples on the horse's belly. And those long, slender, perfectly curved bones would be a pain to replicate. I shaded them with the same lava-ish colors from Nemain, because Nemain, lava, and now we have lava bones. after I finished that, I went back to the lava spiral and touched that. After I finished that, I can't speak. Somebody help. I went back to the lava spiral and touched it up again, as well as added some more shine to the lava bones. Now, I did sort of play with the idea of giving this horse horns, but not a mask. I will never be doing that mask. I ended up not doing them because I would have to find a way to fit them in with the rest of the horse's head and somehow work around the ears, and yeah. I didn't want to spend an extra hour on something that the horse doesn't really need, so I just left them out. And finally, it's almost done. Now all I need to do is some touch-ups. If you see parts of the horse's coloring flashing in and out of sight, that's probably just me disabling and then enabling the layers, frantically trying to find where this one tiny stray pencil mark is. Now I just need to add a really quick black background and boom, it's done. It's finally done. I cannot believe how this turned out. I am so happy with it. With the amount of detail I put into this thing, I think this drawing is probably my best piece of artwork yet. And it turns out that the part of the feature that I wanted to do the least, which is the bones, ended up being what is probably the best feature of the horse. Making something new out of what was already two awesome designs from Star Stable was a lot of fun. I named him Ember, by the way, since I just couldn't leave him nameless. That would be kind of sad. Now, I could have gone the extra mile and done a non-magical coat for this horse as well, and maybe even a pet to go with it. But first of all, I've already spent an eternity on this thing, and second, there's the fact that Laverna's non-magical coat not only has dapples, but paint patterns. And no, I'm not doing this again. For now, let me just disable a few layers, and there you go. There's your non-magical coat. Don't mind the random stray marks. That's just me accidentally coloring on the wrong layer. Anyways, this is probably going... This is probably going to end up... Oh! I don't understand my own script. Anyways, this is probably going to end up being one of my favorite videos ever, so I will definitely do this again. I just don't know when. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! I just knocked a bunch of hangers.